So today's Talk Tuesday video is going to be about The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, my thoughts on the show, what do I think in general. Before I say anything, make sure you watch the video completely in case I say anything that you're just like, wait, what? So yeah, if you guys want to see what I think about the show, just go ahead and keep on watching. So I have been watching The Bachelor, I want to say, I don't even know how long I've been watching. I think the first thing I watched was The Bachelorette was the first thing I watched before I even knew that there was like a thing as a Bachelor that existed. I think I watched, what season was the one that I started watching? The first Bachelorette season that I watched was Ashley's season. I have been a big fan of the show in general, and my thoughts about the show is, I don't know whether I watched the show because I really like the drama or because I know that it's just a very different way to like meet someone and fall in love with someone. Now, do I think it's possible to find love on The Bachelor or on The Bachelorette? I think it's definitely possible. I mean, there's been a couple of couples that have came out and are still married today. So do I think it's possible? Yeah, I do. Do I think it's the way that everyone is going to think that they can find love? No, I don't. I think it's a very different way that people can find love, and I think it's definitely a way that can work for some people. Just like a dating website can work for someone, or just like walking up to someone and talking to them can work for someone. So I feel like it definitely can work for some people. As to the thought of dating up to like 30 men, 30 women for The Bachelor, 30 men for The Bachelorette. Do I necessarily like the fact that they have to date all these people at the same time? Not really. I think it's very different. I think that it's just a different way of dating, but in a way, like, I don't want this to sound as weird as it's probably gonna sound. In a way, I feel like you kind of like have to open yourself up more faster to a bunch of people, which I don't know for me if I could ever do that, because honestly it's hard enough for me to open up to like my mom or my sister. So like, how would I feel opening up to a complete stranger that I have never even met before besides watching them on television? So that's another thing. Why is there so much drama on The Bachelor / Bachelorette? I think the reason is because a lot of times they're not used to this situation of having to deal with multiple people dating the same person that you're dating. And obviously a ton of jealousy will come out, and it can be shown in very negative ways. But at the same time, there's a lot of them who actually take everything very, very well. And you never hear anything about jealousy. And I love the times when there's someone who is just like never in any of the drama and you're just like, yeah, you go, like that would totally be me. Another thing is, I know this show takes like over a period of like 2 months, I want to say, and then I think it's like 4 months until they actually air it, or until the finale if I'm not mistaken. In regards to actually knowing a person in 2 months, do you think it's possible to know a person well enough that you're gonna get engaged to them? There's a lot of times that they don't air on television of their like one-on-ones or of their group dates, that it's like, yeah, how is it possible that they know each other? But in the same time, it's like, well, if you use your time wisely, it's very easy for me to kind of lay out my entire life story and know more about you in one day. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that. And for some reason, we forget that there's a lot of stuff that they don't show on the show of extra one-on-one time. Their one-on-one date isn't all shown, if that makes sense. Like, they show most of it, or at least part of it, but they don't show all of it. So that's another thing. And then as to, do I think, this is probably one of the things that I probably found the hardest was, for The Bachelor, Ben got to meet 4 of the women's family. You know, out of those 4, if only 2 he thinks that he's gonna marry, why does he have to go and meet all 4? Because then that kind of is a little bit weirder, I think. So I wish they would almost, when it's the final 2, why don't they like go meet their families and then go to their next destination and go meet Ben's family? I don't know, it's just like interesting. And as to my thoughts as to whether I would go on the show, because this is something that I have been asked before, would I ever think about going onto the Bachelor show or anything like that? It's kind of weird because when you're applying for the show, you don't really know who the Bachelor is until you're in the limo and they tell you like, oh, this is the Bachelor. or I think they tell you a little bit before. But do I think I would ever be a good candidate for The Bachelor? Probably not. And I'm gonna say why. I am definitely not like the most skinny girl. I'm not the most attractive girl. So I don't think a lot of the girls that they put on the show are very beautiful and very skinny. Not to say that's a bad thing, but I feel like in a way they should almost be a little bit more diverse in the people that they have on their show. Even if I were to apply, would they necessarily choose me? Probably not. I just think that it would be really nice if there was a little bit more diversity in there. And I know they all are not white. Like I know that the new Bachelorette is JoJo, who's like half, I don't even know what she is, but and then they were gonna choose Kayla as a Bachelorette, who was half white, half Filipino. So obviously they're trying to include more people, but I feel like in a way there's just like this standard that you have to be tall and skinny to be on this show, where I wish they had it that you could be a little bit more curvier and apply to be on the show. I think I remember one time there was a blonde curvier girl on the show. She didn't even last that long on the show. She almost had so many insecurities in herself, but I feel like at the same time there is curvier girls who don't have insecurities, who are confident in who they are and know where they're going in life. And I feel like that's something that's very important. In other words, to answer that question, would I ever apply? Probably not, because they just don't have that diversity, and I'm like Mexican and I have Italian and I'm Spanish, so I don't necessarily think that they would choose me, if that makes sense. So thank you all for watching this Talk Tuesday about like my Bachelor little rant. Leave me a comment down below if you think kind of the same way I do. They're not diverse, so I shouldn't even apply because they're not going to choose me in general. If you think I should go on The Bachelor. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!